Hello everybody, or just me, myself, and I wanted to go over what it's like to be working while in nursing school because I feel like that's a very popular misconception of whether you can or can't or should or shouldn't work during nursing school. I'm just going to share what I did during my first semester, my second semester, what I was doing before I even got into a nursing program, and then also what my plans are for this next semester coming up. So before I started the nursing program, I did take a semester off, as I mentioned in my last video. And so between January of 2017 all the way to August of 2017, when I actually found out I was going to start my nursing program, I was working 2 jobs full time. I was babysitting these 3 boys for this amazing family that I was very lucky to have found because I worked with them Monday through Wednesday. I would help them with homework, tidying up around the house. Specifically, it was homework, making sure they read, trying to get those AR points. Any school projects was on me and the boys to work on, getting them ready for soccer, making sure they ate, making sure they didn't fight. It was an awesome job. I also worked for a company as a behavior interventionist with children who have autism. So I would work with children between the ages of 2 and 10 and go to their houses and work one-on-one with them on developing new skills. So when I got into nursing school, I knew that I had to give up one of those jobs only because realistically, I didn't think I could handle 2 jobs and go to school full-time. I had also heard all this scary stories about how you shouldn't work while you're in the nursing program because you need to delve 100% into it. So I told the babysitting family I had to work on my nursing and I couldn't babysit for them anymore, which is a hard goodbye, but they were so kind and they were very open to me coming back later on if I happened to be available. So I'll go into that later. But I said bye to them because they needed me Monday through Wednesday afternoons because they needed me for after school homework help and I couldn't offer that to them. And so I left them, and I have my agenda from my first year of nursing school, and I was working about 12 hours a week. So what a typical week looked like was on Mondays, I had seminar between 9:30 to 10:30 in the morning. I had a 3-hour gap, which I would make sure to utilize to do some readings and studying. And then I had pharmacology between 1:40 to 3:50 in the afternoon. And then it was pretty much traffic hour right after that, so I would stay on campus for a few hours until traffic died down and do some more homework. Tuesdays, I had lab from 10:30 in the morning to 5:10 p.m. And again, I would stay later to do some homework because I didn't want to catch traffic. And then Wednesdays, I was at the hospital for clinicals. At my program, we only have clinicals once a week. Thursdays, we have theory from 10:30 in the morning to 1:40 p.m. And so, yeah, that was my schedule for school. And then Thursday afternoons, right after theory, I had a client in the afternoon. And then Friday mornings, I worked for a few hours as well. And then I worked on Saturdays all day. And then I also worked on Sundays, actually. So I worked 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a week, as I had said. And I felt that I had a good amount of time to study. I don't really have a lot of friends. I just have a close group of friends. And so they understood that I was in school and they're also in school. So it wasn't really difficult to say, hey, I'll see you once a month kind of thing. Then we have a 2-month break between first and second semester. And I made sure to work a lot of hours. I banked up a lot of hours during those 2 months. I did save up money for me to pay for the next semester, and then I took a little vacation during that time to kind of refresh and re-energize my brain so I could be able to tackle second semester head on, and that really worked for me. So my second semester schedule changed because we had 3 different rotations. We had med surg, then maternity, then pediatrics. And looking back on it now, I could have worked more during second semester if the schedules were more consistent because the workload wasn't as heavy and the material was difficult. Of course, nothing is easy, but I felt like I could take it on and still had extra time on my hands. So, for example, med surg week would look like is Mondays I had med-surg lecture between 1 to 4:50 p.m. And then we had seminar at 5 p.m. to 6 for 1 hour. Tuesdays was my day off. Yeah. And then Wednesdays I was at the hospital all day. Thursdays I had lab from 2 to 8 p.m. And Fridays I had nothing. So I had Tuesdays and Fridays off. Tuesdays I just did school stuff and study and homework. And then Fridays I worked. I worked on Saturdays, and I no longer worked on Sundays. So working 10 hours a week on my second semester, and that was still fine. I felt like I had enough time on my hands. Flashing forward towards my maternity rotation, so I had lecture on Mondays from 1 to 4, and then I had seminar, and then I had Tuesdays off. Wednesdays I had lab from 10 to 5 p.m. Thursdays I was at the hospital, and then Fridays I was off. And this is when I started realizing that I could do more sub cases, and I could get those extra hours without the commitment of being available during that certain time frame every single week. Last 5 weeks of school, I was on Mondays, I was on campus from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesdays was hospital day, Wednesdays was my day off, and Thursdays I had lab from 2 to 8 p.m. and then Fridays was my day off. I worked only 6 hours a week at this point, and I definitely felt like I had enough time on my hands to add in some extra workload or do something else. And so I passed, and everything went great for second semester. So I definitely think that 6 to 12 hours was perfectly fine. If not, I had a little time extra on my hands. I did take away television. I would watch it maybe once a week, if that, only because I didn't really feel the need to watch it. And I'm somebody who loves television. I love watching movies. I love reality shows. I love it all. So I would just catch up on my TV shows during like spring break, winter break, summer break. That's when I watch my TV. This summer, again, I did what I did winter break. I tried to work because I'm trying to make sure I save up enough money for, in the case that I can't work as much during my third semester, it's okay for me to like take the time off or just like quit. And so that's what's ideal for me, so that I'm not stressing in my third semester that I have to work. But at the end of the day, if you have bills to pay, you're going to have to find some way to handle the situation, and you're going to have to work, and that's okay. As long as you manage your time efficiently, I think that's the best way to go about it. What a week will typically look like in my third semester of nursing, the job with the children who have autism, and I'm only going to be working there on Saturdays from 9 to 3 p.m. So 6 hours. And the babysitting job called me and asked if there was any way I could come even for 1 or 2 days a week, and they wouldn't commit me to a lot of hours, only because they really needed that extra homework help. And I agreed because I really missed the family. This is what it's looking like. Mondays I will be in theory from 7 a.m. to 9:50 a.m. And then at seminar I'll have that from 1 to 2 p.m. So I'll be done with school on Mondays by 2 p.m., which is awesome. I am an early bird. If I can start school at 7 a.m., that is not a problem. And then I'm going to be working at the babysitting job from 4 to 8 p.m. Tuesdays I actually don't have any school, and I'm going to be babysitting from 3 to 6 p.m. So just from the babysitting job alone, it's going to be 7 hours a week. Wednesdays is clinical day for the first 5 weeks. Thursdays I'll be on campus for 1 hour. I'll be on campus for 1 hour from 8 to 8:50 a.m. And then Fridays I have lab from 10:30 to 1:40 p.m. And again, I love this schedule because even though Thursday I only have to be there for an hour, the whole week I'm just there in the mornings, and then I get to come home before traffic hits, and that is so beautiful to me because I can get a lot done during the day. And then Saturdays I'm going to be working from 9 to 3, as I mentioned. So in total I'll be working about 11 to 13 hours a week, which is similar to what I had been doing my first semester and at the beginning of second semester. So I think I can handle it. The only difference now is that everybody, and I mean everybody. In my program says that third semester is the most intense. Not necessarily the first 5 weeks, that the first 5 weeks are just as doable as second semester. The last 10 weeks are all intermediate med-surg, and a lot of students fail out of that portion of the semester. And so I am very much prepared to see what my schedule was going to look like and for me to quit one of the jobs. So now my thing is seeing how it's going to play out. I will do another video maybe in a few weeks once I'm actually in school doing this schedule in real life to see how it's looking. I'll do one when I'm in my mental health rotation, and then I'll do one while I'm in my med-surg rotation, just to see how they differ, if I felt like I could do it with the schedule I had, and then if I felt like if I could do it with the schedule I had plus a lot of workload or a lot of material that I needed to learn. So yeah, I think if you have to work, you have to work, and don't listen to anybody on whether they say it's too hard or, oh no, you're not going to be able to handle it. I think you should just see it for yourself and see if you could handle the time in your way and a way that benefits you. I know a girl in my class, she has a full shift, so like an 8-hour shift on Fridays, Saturdays. So she works 16 to 20 hours a week. And then this other girl, she works 2 jobs, and so she does Saturdays and Sundays, at least 12 to 15 hours a day on Saturdays and Sundays. So then she got in her 20 to 30 hours a week. Another man I know in my group was doing freelance contracting work. So companies would call him if they needed something to be fixed in their building, and he could either take it or have another contractor do it. But then again, there was another student in my class who was working as a respiratory technician, I believe, at a big hospital, and he was working 20 hour weeks, 20 to 24 hour weeks. I think he was working 3 8-hour shifts. Yeah, I think that's what it was. And he didn't think he could handle it, and so he actually ended up quitting 2 months into our first semester of nursing, only because the job wouldn't give him a reduction of hours. They told him he had to work those hours, and so he decided to quit, and he had saved up money, and that's what he's using now. So yeah, I think that's it. If anybody's watching it, I would like to hear what your work schedules are, because I do like to compare different stories so that I use it kind of as encouragement